Aloha everyone, young and old, and thank you for watching our program today. Sparky Would Go, a Kaua'i talk show for the whole family. United States Senator Spark Matsunaga was born on October 8, 1916, and raised on Kaua'i, Hawaii. Born Masayuki Matsunaga, the beloved Sparky nickname was given to him by his elementary school friends. Sparky liked the name so much, though, that he legally added it to his birth name after World War II. If we emphasize the life and works of our greatest contributors, people will come to realize that moral courage is bravery of the highest type, and America will be called the champion of peace. Sparky was a political visionary who dedicated his life to peace and a united world. This program series honors those people and organizations who are living examples of how to persevere through the hard times, showing us that our lives are worth living. What a great day for a journey by boat along Kaua'i's Pali coast. We're on our way to visit our good friend Kumu Sabra Kauka and members of the Pali Coast Ohana. Hi everyone, welcome to Sparky Would Go, and this is our talk show and our talk show guest, and this is my friend Sabra Kauka, and we're so lucky to be here in her world, under the noni tree. We need a song, I think.
I think so. I can hear it going now. Under the noni tree, don't let it fall on me.
Well, this is canoe plants, so it's such an important plant for us to know and love, right, here in Hawaii, right?
Right. And that's why we established a canoe plant garden here as a botanical demonstration site. We worked in partnership with the National Tropical Botanical Garden with Mike D'Amata and Dr. David Burney, who came and surveyed, and then they recommended a list of plants that they know would grow here or did grow here. And we were able to bring them in and set up just a little garden.
And Sabra, when we look out into the ocean here, this is a rich place because
it's
this is
fabulous.
what supported people living here, right?
Yes, probably 100, 150, maybe 200 in the summer. There was a great deal of travel up and down the coast. Many of the families on the west side are related to families that lived here, and families from Ni'ihau would come back and forth during the summer months.
And when they came here, what would they do? What would be their activity?
Look, fishing to the max.
Fishing, right.
Fishing to the max.
Alolo. So fishing and
growing plants, sweet potato, taro.
And working those into things that they could not only enjoy themselves, but also trade with families from other places, right?
Yes,
so
very
this would
much.
have been a trading place as well.
Definitely productive.
Yeah.
You know, it has the resources to do that.
So what is your mission here, Sade?
Our mission with the Pali Coast Ohana is to simply care for this place, to come in and cut the weeds and make it nice and take care of it.
Yeah.
And this particular work trip, I have several of my students with me. They're going to be seniors next year, so they graduate.
Yeah.
And they are also doing cultural training. They're learning a hula for this beautiful mountain called Kaua'i, and it's about Kaua'i, and they're learning to make kapa, and they're weaving lauhala.
So this is really, it's a classroom, school, and even you could even call it a university.
Yeah.
Right? All right.
University of the Aina.
Yeah.
So when we first came here, this site was all leveled. It was destroyed by tsunami many, many years ago. But we kept tripping over these stones. We was wondering, what is here? So we asked the archaeologists to come in and to help us determine what the site looked like. Now, one thing that's really cool about it is that these stones that you see over here, the sandstones that are upright, it's only 1/3 that's above ground. It's 2/3 in the ground. So when the wave came, it didn't move, but it did blow off all the rocks on top of it, the sides and in the back. So we had these young men at the time come in, Kaina Makua, Paleki Flores, and they were students in high school at Waimea High School with K.L. Naismith. And so he brought his students in to restore this site. We also got a master Hawaiian stone builder named Billy Fields. He came in with Halealoha Ayau and one other guy, and he taught these young men how to build this
Wow.
stacked rock. And this is a ni'ihau style. This is identical, I understand, to heiau and places, rock stone places on ni'ihau. And he told them, if you can build this and stand on top of it and dance hula, and it doesn't move, you've got it. Well, all these young men dance hula.
Yeah.
So they built this up so carefully. They stood on the top of it. They danced hula, and it moved.
Oh no!
And so they were crushed, but they came back and they built it again, Mark. They built it up from the ground and they stood on top of it, and it's solid.
Wow.
It doesn't move.
Rob, Ivua. Well, you know, and this kauna pueo is a canoe house.
It is a canoe house.
What does that mean?
Well, it means that they would bring the canoe in here and work on it, repair it, take care of it, and then they'd sail back out again. But as you can see, there's a reef here.
Yes.
And it would have to have been very much at high tide. And then somehow you have to go down the slope here to the beach, and they would have figured all of that out too.
And there was a roof on the house?
The boys think so. The men think there was a roof on it, and they would love to put a roof on here. And I said, wait a minute. We're not here every day, every month, all the rest of the year.
Right.
It's a lot to take care of. And where are we going to get the materials?
Yes.
We don't have any pili grass or enough really coconut leaves or, you know.
Poles,
yeah. And it's maintenance. And plus, I have to confess, we don't want any ukus moving in. It would be a beautiful place to live, you know.
Yeah. So it's kind of like the past and the present are coming together. So that must bring about a sense of spiritual for you folks in terms of, are you singing songs? Are you dreaming lots of dreams?
Every night we sing songs.
Yeah.
We sing songs about these places.
Yeah.
And every night we feel that we might not be the only people in the circle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that you're not alone here.
Yeah.
That's always important because, boy, when you recognize that kind of chicken skin that you get, you realize that you're not alone and that that it's important for you to respect that place, right? Right. And so do you think the students are capturing that? They're getting that message?
I think they are.
From there, we go back to the beach to meet some of Kumu Kauka's high school boys and see what they've been working on.
My name is Makani, and I'm making like a bowl, kind of. And I started it when we got here, and I've been working on it ever since.
I've been working on it for about maybe like half an hour a day.
What's the hardest part you're doing? What's the most difficult?
Not breaking it.
Oh.
I've got a poi pounder that I'm making. Right here, I had to poke through the whole rock in order. This will be the handle and the top. And then
that's a Kaua'i style poi pounder. I mean, that is major.
Wow, yes.
I gotta work on flattening the bottom and opening up the hole some more. And then
So you can hand hold up.
Yeah.
And that your work that you did on that was with stone tools, right?
Yeah.
Stone on stone, traditional kind.
You haven't brought in a chisel or anything.
No. Nothing.
Wow.
They were joking. In fact, the fathers were joking about bringing in a power.
Sawzall.
Yeah.
Great, thank you. That's a beautiful piece. Beautiful.
So I'm Tane, and I made this round stone so that I can play ulumaika, and that's basically the game where you roll it and you try and get it through a little field goal. So I took this sharper stone so I could round it out and make it roll more smoothly.
Wow. And the name of that game is?
Ulumaika.
Ulumaika.
Yeah.
Grubbe, these are my two boys and the rest of my family. Ulumaika stone, I found it out here and it was almost ready to go as I found it. It already had this out of it, so I didn't have to do much, but I've been working on it every day a little bit along with these guys. So we got a competition, ulumaika competition going on.
So in the
No gambling.
Well, they did, you know. But in the morning, this crew here would pull weeds to the max, water all the plants, restack the stones where the goats have trampled over the walls and knocked them down every day. And they have hauled tons of compost that we piled up between the trail and the garden, and they've taken it out to the beach rocks.
Looks like Kumu's high school girls have discovered the rigor of working with the wauke plant to make their Hawaiian kapa.
So, so this is just the first pounding of this wauke.
Wow,
But it really is lovely. And so eventually what they may make, and we'll have to figure this out. Well, one thing for sure that they're going to make is they're going to make uli, or their feather gourds for hula, because they just this morning started to learn a hula for this place and for that mountain called Kamaile.
Yes.
And there's a hula to it that they will need to make an uli. They're going to make the feather gourd with the kapa center on it. And then they should have enough left over to make just a little scarf to wear for graduation.
Wow, that's going to be so much
I
fun
think it's
wear
going to be
that.
beautiful.
Yeah. From here, you would dye the kapa?
Right. Well, they may have to pound it one more time, and then dye it and put their design on. I mean, there's so many steps, you know, dye, design, etc. And then they have to sew the feathers on there, uli. So it's a whole process. It's very time consuming, and in their quote spare time, their spare time as seniors, they're going to be able to do this work.
It was very fun. It took very long.
Yes.
This whole thing took me maybe about like 3 hours plus, just to get it started. At least like this thick, and to get it that thick took 3 hours. But even then, it's still not done. That was just like, you know, take one, gotta go again and again. So,
Right.
Because they have to make their dyes too.
And what is the hardest thing that you're doing? The most difficult?
pounding, or well, having patience, I think, is the most difficult thing with this. It's a lot of repetitive movements because you're pounding, but you're trying to keep in line with the grain of the wauke and trying to make sure you don't have rips like these ones, which are all fixable, but you know, that just adds more work.
The fewer the better.
Yeah, the fewer the better. The more you can prevent it, the better. But
Right.
yes, it's a lot of repetitive movement to get it where it is.
I made
Lauhala bracelet.
just weaving, and it was a lot of repetitive work, like the kapa, but it was really fun to see it come together and all the different colors here. I like the contrast with it, so I was really looking for that to come through, and it did.
So I made the kapa and this cordage. So
The cordage is from ahuava,
yes,
the plant.
The cordage is from the ahuava plant, and it grows in like a lot of water.
It likes water.
It likes water. And so what you do is you take it and you have to strip off the green from it, and you have to do that by pounding it and then stripping off the green, and then you take it and you
Twist
it,
into cordage.
and then you make this cordage. And I made a bunch of it. It's all kind of wrapped up right there. But
What are you going to do with it?
oh, anything.
She made enough of that to wrap her uli.
I did.
Gosh.
Yeah.
I just really enjoy doing it. It's something that I really like making, and because I can just do it anywhere and just like sit down and just zone out and do it, think about anything. But yeah, I really like it. And with the kapa, I think the most difficult thing for me with the kapa was not like getting stuck on the little things. Like the trees, obviously, they're not perfect. So you're going to have little holes where the branches went out. And so for me, it was hard not getting stuck on trying to fix that and just letting it be how it is.
I pounded kapa here, and this took me about like 2 hours, I would say, but I also had the help of someone else. So if I did it by myself, it definitely would have taken longer. For me, the most difficult part would probably be trying not to rush through, because it can be like really hard having to sit there and work it for that long a period of time, and my forearms they were definitely getting a little bit of a burn. But I think for me the most important part was sitting there and just trying to be very consistent and not try to rush through at the very end, and just trying to push through until the very end and make it all consistent all the way through, and not just rush just because I'm tired, but because I want to get it as smooth as possible so it can go out and dry out, and then I can continue to pound it out.
A question for all of you. Can you imagine yourself either wearing this or showing it off in some way?
Yes.
They'll show it off with the uli uli, when they make the uli uli.
Yeah, I feel like we all are going to look forward to wearing it at graduation.
I haven't cleared it with the authorities yet that they're going to wear kapa at their graduation, but we're going to figure it out because this is really pretty special. I have the Valki growing at school as well, but it's very time consuming for every member of the senior class to do this, and we have a very large senior class this year.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah, very good.
So you're all happy that you're learning this, right?
Yes, very much so.
Continuation of culture.
So the students are learning all the time.
Yes, they are.
And you're developing, there's research going on here?
I ask my students every evening, we debrief, and they have to tell me what did they see in the ocean, what did they see in the sky, what plants did they see, what insects did they see, all these things of nature.
Right.
Observations. What did you see? What did you hear? What did you feel?
And it's reconnecting that with nature that we see as being a very important value for children coming out of the pandemic.
Yes.
Because that brings them back to a connection with the earth. Right?
Absolutely, and I think that's one of the things that they enjoy about being here.
We're sitting in front of a Hawaiian cemetery.
Well, it's a village site.
A village site.
A village site, and it includes some graves. It includes some homes. It includes a temple site, a heiau. It includes some beautiful rock walls. Right. One is named for Auntie Margaret Aipualani, Makalika's wall. Right. A very long one is named for Uncle Patty Malama.
Oh, we want to see those.
Yes. And that is another beautiful, all of that is restored. This is restored.
So you're restoring, and then you're saying, let's honor special people that we know and love by the restorations. And that brings back thinking and thoughts and stories back to this place. And you're putting life back here.
Yes.
Before, there was, how long of a period there was no people living here?
Probably at the time that sugar came and the economy changed and people moved out. To like Kekahamana, Waimea, to work for the plantation, and they didn't rely as much on just hunting, fishing, farming. You know, they went to a cash economy.
But the curiosity of the towns and the cities too.
Yes,
have drawn them
that
away.
too. Yeah. That too. City life.
Right.
But Uncle Patty was so special because he would come out here as often as he could. He was a caterer, but he was descended from the chiefs of this land.
Aye.
And he would come out to caretake.
So we have people on our island, on Kaua'i, that are descendants of the people that lived all throughout the Nepali, Kalalau and Alolo.
And there's one of them on this trip with us, Nohili Doria.
Our team was very fortunate to meet a descendant of the area, Nohili Doria, whose family lived and worked along the Nepali coast.
Nohili is related to the people of this place and the people of Nepali, the people of Miloli'i and Mana, Polihale, and Nohili.
Oh my God.
That's her name, Nohili. She is named after that beautiful point of there when you come around and come up here.
Oh gosh. You must be so proud of your heritage and your family.
Oh, definitely. Definitely proud to be here and passing on traditions and talking to people of stories of the past that my tutu and my papa shared with me growing up. My great-great-grandfather was a Kumu hula and go from Kalalau and stop at all the different valleys and teach. And he would come here, he would go to Meloli'i and then on to Polehale. And then when the sea was too rough, he would take the trail and hike all the way from Kalalau into Polehale. And that's where he met my great-great-grandmother.
In Polehale?
In Polehale while he was teaching, and then she fell in love with him, and that was their history there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I just came together, a Nepali family.
Yeah, yeah, very much.
What did he teach?
He was a Kumu hula,
Uh-huh.
so he taught old style hula, which they called olapa. Later on, it's to be known as kahiko, but it was olapa back then.
And Nohili, are you helping the young people here to create a hula or learn a hula from this place?
So me personally, I do not know hula, but it's nice to see the traditions being passed on.
So Nohili is related to Auntie Margaret Aipualani, for whom that wall is named, and she knows how rascal that auntie was. She was a fabulous person, great spirit, lifting, and she loved to dance hula. She would rip in those hulas, and she could play that ukulele chalang-a-lang till the midnight hours, I tell you.
She was a really fun tutu, and she would always teach us, music. She picked up everything really easily, piano, bass, ukulele, whatever it may be. It was her passion. She loved music so much. We would turn on the radio and she'd just start giving them.
Yeah, she would.
I bet you knew Hanalei's mama.
Oh, yes. Oh, very well. They were good buddies. Yes, yes, yes. They would all kanikapila together, make music together. But when we brought Auntie Margaret out here, Auntie Makalika, she would wake up early morning, like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning before anybody else. And so she asked me, well, Kauka, what can I do? And I said, well, Auntie, just clear 1 foot away from the wall, and by 6:30 in the morning, she had it all done. Not just 1 foot away from the wall, but 4, 5, 6 feet from the wall. Because I said the archaeologists are going to come in and map this wall for us. And because of the work that she did along that back wall, we have named that wall after her.
Wow, these kupuna, they had a magic that Menehune people knew, I think. They could do things, big tasks, small tasks, you know what I mean? They had ways of making things happen. And we had so much to learn from them. Are you feeling as though you're able to contribute here to the teaching and everything?
Stories.
Yeah, I am, I get to pass on the stories to my cousins or my nieces and nephews now, and we're getting ready to bring some of them in so that they can see this place.
Yeah, yeah. There's a whole generation related to Uncle Patty, Malama, next generation, great-grandchildren that we want to start bringing in next summer.
That's so cool.
That age.
Can you see into the future what the place might look like in 10 years?
No, I can't. I can't see, but I can only hope that it will be better than what it is.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah, a little bit every time, right? Yeah.